Hello my lovelies, it's Tina. If you're new to my channel, I make healthy food, vegan food, plant-based food. I have gone from 202 pounds to 164 pounds so far. I am 5'2", so I need to get down to at least 120. 117 would be the high end for my height, actually. This is an old college sweatshirt, just to show you my progress. When I purchased this back in college, it was the largest size that the store had, and it was too small for me. And it was packed away in a trunk for years and years and years. And I just recently found it, and I started wearing it. Well, my daughter, who's a size small, started wearing it, and it was really big on her. But I've taken it back and I've started wearing it because it's still big on me, but it's comfortable and it's really cold outside and it's snowing, and so I'm wearing it. Anyway, I like to cook and I like to show you what I cook so that you can see how I've lost the weight, how I continue to lose the weight, and you can see how easy it is. Simple foods, simple recipes. Okay? So tonight I'm doing pasta, and I hadn't had pasta in my routine for quite a while because I had a really hard time finding pasta that either didn't have eggs or didn't have salt or didn't have oil, and I found an even harder time finding pasta sauce that didn't have oil in it. And normally I shopped at Walmart, and that's just because Walmart is relatively inexpensive and I have 4 people to feed. So I have recently discovered at our Aldi store, the Aldi brand, which is Simply Nature, and their pasta sauces not only are organic, but they don't have any oil in them. So pasta is back on the menu. Now the pasta that I'm using tonight is these pasta nests that I found. And the only ingredients in this is wheat and tomato powder. And I'm assuming that they bind it with water, and they just haven't listed the water. So I'm going to show you how to turn this pasta sauce and this pasta into a full and complete balanced meal. And one of the tricks that I use is I like to put lentils in with the pasta when they're boiling. And that way I'm boiling them into the same pot. And by the time my pasta's done, my lentils will be done. So I'm going to take, that's about 1 cup of red lentils, and put it in my water to boil. Then I'm going to open up these shells. Let me get the scissors here. Save some of that noise, that crackling noise. I apologize for that. I know that's quite loud. Right by the microphone there. And these are just little pasta nests. Oh, we dropped something. That's our offering to the gods. Always got to satisfy those kitchen gods, or your food won't taste good. And I've never made these little pasta nests before, so I don't know how many to do. I'm just going to fill up my pan. And that's about half of that package, and that should satisfy all 4 of us. And you can see I've got some onions here, and I'm dry frying them. There's no water in there just yet, although I may add some if I have to. Now the thing to remember, that we need legumes, grains, fruit, and veg, if we can get it, in every meal. And that's a complete balanced diet for a plant-based eater. So remember that there are a lot of fruits that we kind of think as vegetables, but they're really fruit. And one of them, of course, is tomatoes, which is in the pasta sauce. Another one is bell peppers. So tonight I'm using yellow bell peppers. You could use red or green if you want, and that's still a fruit component. Onions, of course, are our vegetable, one of them that we're going to be using tonight. Just going to put those in the pan. And I'm going to add some organic minced garlic. And I buy it already minced because I'm lazy. And for those of you who are busy, which I'm not, you can understand that it might be easier for you to just buy it already minced. Then I've got some baby bell mushrooms, and this was 3 pretty good sized ones, and I just chopped those up. And that's just what I had left over from the last thing I made. And then I've got a small bunch that I have chopped up of asparagus, because asparagus is on sale right now, really cheap, so it must be the season for it. So I'm adding it wherever I can. Then I'm going to add some baby spinach, because we've got to get our greens. And I'm just going to cover this. Gonna let this cook. Gonna let those cook. And I'll be right back with you when they're done. Oh, I wish you could smell this cooking. These have been cooking for about 5 minutes, and they've got about 5 more. I'm gonna leave those go. And I've got this here, and see how I just open that up and let the condensation fall over top? And that just kind of moistens those vegetables. So if you're ever curious about how you cook without oil, this is it. The food just releases its own natural juices, and they just kind of mesh all in together. And a little bit of condensation helps. If you have to, you can always add a little water, and I've always got my kettle nearby. I'm going to add some spices into this just to jazz it up a little. I know there'll be some spices in that sauce, but I like to add a bit of mine. And this is just Italian seasoning. And then I've got a little parsley flakes. Parsley is a green just like spinach is, so if you can add it to the top of your food, all the better. And then a little more onion powder. Give it a good stir, and look at those onions getting nice and caramelized along with those yellow peppers. Well, those kitchen gods are going to be real happy tonight because they're getting lots of stuff thrown at them. Doesn't that look nice? Okay, just a few more minutes. And be right back. Okay, I've had to turn on my exhaust fan to pull up the steam, and I apologize if that's loud. My noodles are almost done. And then I'm going to take some of this no salt seasoning and put that in with the noodles, because we don't want them to be completely flavorless. And it looks like this is just about done with these vegetables. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and pour my pasta sauce in and let that simmer. And I'll turn that down to low. And just let this simmer together. And then when I plate this all up, I'm going to sprinkle it with my faux Parmesan. And if you haven't seen this yet, I'll link that at the end. Be sure and watch the video all the way through, because I put those little pop-ups at the end for the other videos that I talk about. So I'll put that faux Parmesan there at the end, and you can click on it next if you haven't seen that. Doesn't that look really nice? A lot of vegetables, lots of colors. I like to cook the rainbow and have all the colors in there. So we're just going to let this pasta sauce simmer by itself while we wait for the noodles. And then I'll drain those and just combine them together, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so off camera, I did take my spatula and get the rest of that pasta sauce out of that jar, because I don't like to waste anything. And I drained the pasta, and see the lentils in there? So we have our pasta, which is our grain. That's going to give us our energy. And then we have our lentils, which is our protein. And then we've got our fruits and our vegetables here. So see what I mean by we have a full and complete balanced meal. And then that faux Parmesan, as I said, I'll link that at the end. And what that does is gives a nice cheesy flavor. And we're just going to sprinkle that right on top and give it a bit of a stir. So we have a complete balanced meal for 4. Now, if there's only 1 or 2 of you, you're going to have some leftovers, and that's okay. Cooking once to eat twice is never a bad thing. There you are. Be sure and subscribe, share with your friends if you like the videos, and tick that little bell so you know when a new video comes out. Have a good day.